So you have outstanding company stock options. Well, my guess is you're probably wondering, when is the most optimal time for you to be exercising your vested shares? Well, we're going to talk to you today about 4 things we think you should consider that will allow you to make the best decision possible. But before we get into those 4 items, we want to remind you that most stock option plans, when your shares are granted, those shares will have a 10-year expiration period, but you'll also have a 3 to 4 year vesting period before you can even exercise them. We also want to remind you that most of these stock option plans are on a brokerage platform which will allow you to set limit orders either on the downside or the upside, such that you don't necessarily have to watch your company's stock price on an hourly or daily basis, because if those orders are in the system, they'll automatically trigger based on what price you put in. So please keep that in mind. So the 4 considerations you should be thinking about are: 1, taxes; 2, general outlook for your company stock and the economy; 3, how do your personal cash flows look; and then 4, what are your career plans? So let's go back to item number 1, taxes. You need to understand, looking into the future, what does your potential tax brackets look like? Are you expecting a big bonus that's going to throw you into a higher tax bracket? Is the federal government looking to change the tax code system in any way that would either negatively or positively affect your tax brackets? So taxes have to be number 1, because if you exercise options, they're taxed to you just like your wages. Number 2, what's the outlook of your company stock versus what is the outlook of the general economy? So if you think you're kind of on a downward trend in the short term, or maybe on an upward trend, you need to balance that with what expiration date you have on these shares as to when you think is the optimal time to pull the trigger on your stock options. The 3rd item is kind of your whole personal cash flow situation. Certainly if you're doing well and your company's doing well, we expect that every year you're going to get more shares granted to you, and you've got a rolling 10 years of stock options. However, if you think for whatever reason you're going to need excess cash flows for a second home, whatever it may be, then you would be more quick to pull the trigger on some of your vested stock options. And then the last item, number 4, is what is your career plan? So keep in mind that if you think you might be leaving your company, most oftentimes your unvested stock options are forfeited. In addition to that, if you leave the company, any vested shares are typically, even though they might have an original longer expiration date, those expiration dates to exercise your vested shares are scrunched down, and they usually give you anywhere from 3 to 12 months to exercise those shares. So please keep this in mind if you're thinking about making a career change. That's what we have for you today. Hopefully this helps answer any questions you have. If you have any further ones, please feel free to reach out. Thanks.